Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here, and today we come to you from the beautiful Levia City, where the fairy type candy hearts are hosting the 3rd place 4 tree tempers. That's right, they are in an Elite 4 position, whereas the Levia candy hearts are just trying to get into a Leaders 8 position as they currently sit in 13th place. So let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this one. Will it be the fairy types? Will it be the flying types? Let's send it down. The flying types have been having such a strong season so far, and they're starting out with Salamence and Honchkrow, who are not going to like being hit by fairy type moves, but it will be Grimmsnarl and Gardevoir starting out for the Levia candy hearts, but immediately Salamance's Intimidate ability does come into play, lowering the attack stat of both fairy type Pokemon, as we get the focus energy from Salamence here to kick off this matchup. So he'll be getting pumped, see if we can capitalize on that, but Gardevoir is going to go with the takedown, going immediately for the dark flying type Honchkrow. It will get the recoil damage from that move, but Honchkrow responds with the Razor Shell, going for Grimmsnarl, gets a fantastic hit there as well, and lowers the defense stat of the dark fairy type, who does respond with the Rock Blast. This will be super effective, this multi-hit move. It's got 2 hits. If it had gotten all 5, it surely would have gotten an elimination of Honchkrow there, as Salamence with the Hydro Pump onto Grimmsnarl, and Grimmsnarl is eliminated by that critical hit. This is a fantastic start for the flying types, as Gardevoir does respond with the Amnesia. It does not want to remember what it just saw, and in the process it boosted special defense a great deal, as Honchkrow goes with the Wild Bolt Storm. Doesn't actually do a great deal of damage to Gardevoir there, and now out comes Klefki for the Levia candy hearts, as Salamence, still with the speed advantage, goes with the last respects onto Gardevoir. Super effective hit, but Gardevoir is able to hold on, and it is going to respond with the Hone Claws. It is going to boost its attack stat here, as well as boosting that accuracy. See if we can capitalize on that, unless it gets eliminated first, as Klefki goes with the super effective Ice Fang onto Salamence, but Salamence is able to hold on. What a hit from Klefki, as the Incinerate from Honchkrow, super effective on Klefki, and is a critical hit in fact, but Gardevoir is able to hold on even after being hit by that move, as both Leopard Berries of the fairy types are burned up. Salamence goes for the Confuse Ray onto Klefki, so we'll see if it does do any damage to itself in its confused state. And Salamence, I still cannot believe, took that massive damage from Klefki of all Pokemon, but the Thrash onto Honchkrow from Gardevoir is going to get the elimination. A great hit by the Psychic Fairy type here. And now Klefki needs to shake off this confusion. It could potentially eliminate Salamence here. It does shake off the confusion, and it goes for an Amnesia of its own, so it's going to get a special defense boost as well. Now Gardevoir, who got the special defense boost, has a base 115 special defense, as Talonflame comes out onto the field and immediately goes for the Fiery Dance. And it looks like it's going for Klefki, gets the super effective elimination and boosted special attack in the process, as the part Steel type is taken out of this matchup, and Salamence with the Magical Leaf takes out Gardevoir. Critical hit, in fact, not that it was needed, but it will complete the huge play for the 4 Tree Tempest. And now out comes Hatterene for the Levia candy hearts, and it will be joined by Fluttermane. Fluttermane base 135 speed immediately goes with the payback, but Salamence holds on by a thread, and Talonflame responds with the Endeavor, but it won't affect Hatterene. It has too much health. Salamence is going to go with the Shockwave, however, and this will hit Hatterene for another critical hit. Great connection there. Hatterene does respond with the Confide. Confiding in Talonflame is going to lower that special attack, and Fluttermane with the Smoke Screen is going to lower the accuracy of Salamence. Instead of eliminating it from this matchup, it is such an easy target right now as Talonflame with the Frost Breath, going for Hatterene here. A fantastic, another critical hit on Hatterene, and it is followed up by the Bite from Salamence with another critical hit, this time onto Fluttermane, who's able to hold on, but the Fire Fang will take Salamence out. Not very effective hit from Hatterene there, but a fantastic elimination, as out comes Noivern for the 4 Tree Tempest, another Dragon type, and it is immediately hit by the Pluck from Fluttermane, who takes its Leopard Berry and eats it right in front of it. And I always say this, it is so rude, stealing somebody else's food, as Talonflame with the Leech Life is going to take Hatterene out of this matchup. The 4 Tree Tempest have been controlling this from the start, as Noivern is going to follow it up with the Absorb onto Fluttermane, who is in knockout range. Noivern is going to get a little bit of its health restored in the process, and we will find out who the last Pokemon is, and it's Blissey coming up for the Levia candy hearts. It's the Terrestrial Pokemon, so it is going to shed that normal typing, and it is going to become a fairy type Pokemon. Such a fitting Pokemon to be on the Levia candy hearts is Blissey. And Fluttermane still with that speed advantage, goes for the cut onto Noivern, doesn't do a great deal of damage, and Talonflame is going to respond with the Horn Leech to take Fluttermane out of this matchup. Blissey is all by itself, and it has 4 flying types to contend with as Noivern immediately goes with the Struggle Bug onto Blissey. Not very effective now. Blissey has a massive special defense of 135, and it has more HP than any Pokemon in the PokeType League as it goes for the Growl. It is going to lower the attack stats of both Talonflame and Noivern here, as Talonflame is going to go with the Seed Bomb onto Blissey. Gets a good hit there, and Noivern is going to follow it up with the Brine. Doesn't do as much damage. I did mention that special defense as Blissey going with the Mountain Gale. Goes for Talonflame. It should have gone for Noivern with that move. It would have been quite super effective, as the entrainment from Talonflame, it is going to change Blissey's ability to Flame Body from Healer. So we could see Blissey potentially leave a burn status condition on the Fortree Tempest, as a grassy terrain is set up by Noivern, who's only going to benefit Blissey here because it's the only one touching the ground, which means it's going to have its health restored in between turns as it goes for a Sky Attack, so it becomes cloaked in that harsh light. We see those wings take off up into the sky as Blissey does start to have its health restored here. I don't know why the Fortree Tempests are helping out Blissey. Maybe they're just toying with it, and that is horrible to see these flying types playing with their prey as the Pollen Puff onto Blissey. Not very effective there from Noivern, and Blissey is going to finish off this Sky Attack, going for Talonflame. Gets a good hit there for Blissey as it continues to have its health restored. Talonflame is going to respond with the Circle Throw. This would normally send Blissey back to the bench, but that not very effective hit will not do a great deal of damage. And now we get the Drain Punch onto Blissey, so Noivern is going to restore a little bit more health, taking it from Blissey there. But yet again, Blissey will have its health restored. But before that happens, it goes with the Shadow Force, so it's actually going to vanish instantly from the field. It's going to avoid any attacks from the flying types right now, as the Crab Hammer is avoided by Blissey. That would have probably done massive damage. Noivern now going for the recover, so it's just going to restore its health. This is actually a really good play by Noivern. It will get itself back to full strength in doing so. Blissey will finish off the Shadow Force though, going for Talonflame. Doesn't do much damage, and here is Blissey having its health restored yet again, as Talonflame is going to go with the Incinerate onto Blissey. Doesn't do much damage, but does burn up its Leper Berry. And now Noivern with the Fire Spin, but Blissey's able to avoid that attack, and it is going to respond with the Dynamic Punch, but unfortunately Talonflame is able to zoom out of the way of that attack, as well as Blissey continues to have its health restored. And that Tailwind has petered out. Not that it mattered for the Fortree Tempest, but the grass has disappeared, and that does matter, as Talonflame with the Hold Back gets a really good hit there onto Blissey. Noivern follows it up with the Fake Tears, pretending to cry for Blissey, who is all by itself, and it has its special defense greatly lowered, but it does go with the takedown onto Talonflame. Talonflame holds on as Blissey gets some recoil damage. Talonflame could be eliminated if it's not careful, as it goes with the Reflect type, so now it's going to become a Fairy type. We have 2 Fairy types with the Flame Body ability on the field right now, who are not normally Fairy types, and the Aqua Ring from Noivern, so they are happy to just toy around with Blissey here. This is terrible that they are doing this to this Pokemon, as the Seismic Toss gets a good hit onto Noivern from Blissey. Surely should have gone for Talonflame and gotten the elimination though, but there's Noivern having its health restored, and Talonflame has had enough because it's going with the Mountain Gale, and Blissey has finally been eliminated after these flying types toyed with it for so long. This is not good for the Olivia Candy Hearts, because they will not get themselves into a much needed Leaders 8 position as we get ever so closer to the Championship Series. But the Fortree Tempest will stay in third as next round. They will be taking on the Saffron Powlings, whereas the Fairy types next round will be taking on the Moss Deep Mystics. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.